Hello and welcome to this demo video. Before we get started, I'd just like to explain to you a few things which will relate to all of the basic range spreadsheets. Number one, there is a key on the intro and setup tab of all of the spreadsheets showing what the different color headers mean. The blue headers mean that the cell's formulated, so it's locked and you can't change it. The yellow headers are where you can input data, and occasionally there might be some gray headers, which is just a different kind of data input, but we'll include instructions as and when that happens. The other thing that you can be aware of is there are ways in which you can damage the spreadsheet. So please do take a look at the link where you see this image, which will take you to a web page to show you how to better preserve your spreadsheet. Please feel free to keep a blank version of the spreadsheet somewhere, so that if you do mess up a spreadsheet that you're using, you can in fact just open a new one, a blank one. And some of the spreadsheets only last for a year, and then you've got a blank one to start the following year. So do keep a blank copy as a backup somewhere. And lastly, wherever you see this image, you can click on it. It'll take you back to the store where you purchased this product to see if you've got anything, any more products. One last thing, to see a demo video, you can click on this on a link that looks like this in order to go to the demo video, but that'll take you to the most recent demo. If in fact we've done upgrades and you're using an older version and you'd like to see the demo relating to your version, then do click on the watch on YouTube link, which will take you to that specific video on YouTube. So I think that's all you need to know. So without further ado, let's move on to this demo video. Thank you.
Hello and welcome to the demo video for the renewal reminder. This is a spreadsheet which does exactly what it says. It reminds you of all of your renewals. Now this could be insurance renewals, it could be whatever the case might be. It might be staff training renewals, it may be anything, what do you call it, TV or licensing or anything like that. Any renewal that you get on a regular basis you want a reminder of, this is the place to put it. Now, let me explain to you how this works. On your first setup page, you want to be putting in some categories. Now, I've just put letters. Those mean nothing to you, really. But what I would suggest for categories are any different categories that these may fall into. So you may have insurance as one category. You may have staff contracts or whatever as another category. You may have whatever these renewals are for. You might have one as utilities for your other utilities. So you can list some categories. You can list there up to 10 categories. I'll just put the names in. Don't put any duplicates down. The one thing I will mention is that you do need to assign every single one to a category. So make sure you've got at least one category which is, say, others or no category or excluded or whatever, so that if you get those odds, those bits and pieces that you don't want to put into one of the other categories, you can just lump them into there, or sundry or something like that. So have a category available for all the individual ones that you want to put into one last category. The list name, this is purely for in the situation where you may have various lists. Maybe you've got, I don't know, various clients and you want to keep one of these for each of your clients or that kind of thing. That's fine. Just you can name the list so that it just shows you which list this one actually is. Lastly, yellow alert, red alert. How many days before a due date do you want it to flag up as red alert? How many days do you want it to flag up as yellow alert? Note these are all days, not just working days. So make sure you've got enough. Don't just put one day if you're only working Monday to Friday, because it might pop up on a Friday due for the Saturday, and then you miss it. So give yourself some warning. Obviously, it'll go red alert yellow alert when it gets to that number of days, and red alert when it gets to that number of days. So you can put that in. Make sure obviously your yellow alert value is higher than the red alert. I think that's all that there is on the setup page. Once you've set that up, you can move on to the renewals list. Now, this looks fairly complicated, and there's one little tricky bit, but I'll show you how to work it. Renewal item, put in the name there. You can put in any name you want. Then what you do is you come along and select the category. Now, these categories are going to be based on what you put in the first sheet. So you select the category, and then the renew period, how many months? Now, it needs to be obviously full months. You can't be renewing every 3 days or anything like that. So full months, put in whole months. How often do you have to renew? Whether that be 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, whatever the case might be, you can put that in 6, 24 months, 36 months, 48, whatever it might be. So if it's 1 year, put it in as 12 months. let's just go and add a new one at the bottom here. If we add in new item, that will go yellow. It's asking us for a category, so we select the category, say F. We renew it every 6 months, and we're starting today. So today being the 31st of July. All right. Now, when we select this, it'll immediately give us the 31st of January 2020 because it's looking 6 months ahead. So you see, that's when the start is. That's when your first renewal is. So we can just select it. When you're adding in the 31st of July, I don't know if you noticed, but let me just do it again just so you can see 31st of July. It doesn't give me the option. Sometimes what it'll do is it might pop up and go, are you sure? Is that the correct value? Just click OK, because there are some lists being generated in the background based on that, but this time I didn't do it. So then you can go to 31st of January 2020. Now, when you come to the 31st of January 2020, like for example, this one over here, where it says 1st of August is due tomorrow. Let's say we're now getting to renew that, and when you click on the renew last renewal, when you actually renew it and you want to update the last renewal one, you select there. It gives you two options. First of all, it gives you the 31st of July, which is today's date, or it gives you the 1st of August. Now, the reason why it does that is because you can either update today's date or you can update on the actual renewal date. The reason I've given you both is because this date here is based strictly on the number of months after when you last renewed. So if you renew a day early and you go to the 31st of July, then when you come here, your new renewal date is going to be the 31st of October. So it's changing from the 1st to the 31st. You're losing a day. So the question I would pose to you is, how does your policy work? If you renew early, does the renewal date for the next year also decrease, or does the renewal date for the following period actually stay based on your actual renewal date? Because if it's based on your actual renewal date, then what I would suggest you do then is then select the 1st of August. Even though it's the 31st of July, select the 1st, because then when you come here and you go 3 months time, it'll go to the 1st of November, and as you do that, you see it removes the red line saying that that's no longer urgent. So that's really all you do. You keep updating the last renewal date whenever you renew, and then when you do that, just select the new renewal date and it'll refresh everything, and it'll then prepare you for the next one. So let me just clear this new item that we've added because I want to show you the graphs. When you add these things, as you can see, you'll see red alerts, you'll see yellow alerts. If any of them go black, the black ones mean that they're overdue. Those ones really need your attention. When you're adding items, you obviously want to fill in all these sections up to here. If there's a price involved, put the price in, but put the full period price. So in other words, if you said this is for 12 months, how much does it cost for 12 months? If you said this is renewed every 6 months, how much does it cost for 6 months? That's essentially that price. The prices aren't, obviously, I mean, they're not particularly useful when you're trying to follow up renewal dates, but what they do, the spreadsheet you'll see on the report, it actually shows you based on price. So if there is a cost involved, I will put that in there. It just gives you more information. Then you can put the product reference. So if you've got like a reference number or an account number or something, you can put that in there. Supplier name, so that you know where it is that you need to renew it. Put the supplier name, and you can put a supplier website. If you put a link in there, it'll change to a hyperlink, so you can click on it and go to the supplier website. So if you put the link in for each one, that's just when you open this up and you see you've got the link to the website, you know who the supplier is, and you've got your account number to hand. So it's that straightforward. You can sort by any of these columns, so you can sort by the renewal date to get all the urgent ones to the top if you want to. Just click on that and click sort oldest to newest, newest to oldest, depending on which way around you want to see it. Lastly, let's go and have a look at the report. As you fill this in, the report will update automatically. You don't have to do anything on the report. Really, there's one cell you can fill in. That shows you what has been renewed. All the ones that you can see are see-through, have been renewed. All the solid ones are coming up for renewal over the months. So you can see this little yellow patch in the middle is the current month. Those are your past months. These are your future months coming up. So you've got almost a 2-year period here. And as you can see, those are the different categories at the bottom by color. So you can see how many you've got each month coming up. So I can see Next month coming up, I've got myself a light blue category F, and actually that one's already been renewed. Yeah, that was the one I've just renewed, so you can see there already the category B that I've just renewed. So there, that is an overall view of all of your renewals coming up and have passed. That your default this middle month, this yellow month middle, by default is the current month. If you want to change that and look ahead, so if I want August, if I want to have a look at it tomorrow, and I put say 1st of August, you can put any date during the month that you want to override it to, and you click enter. Everything shifts up, so now it says that it gives me as August as the current month. That's just if you want to look ahead in the future. If you want to look to the past, you can do that. Otherwise, if you just leave it blank, it'll take the current month in the center. As we scroll down, you can see your number of renewals by category. You can see the value of the renewals by category. So you may have, for example, this one doesn't really show because they're all kind of random numbers, but here your orange one, you've got 2, but here by value, they're a bit bigger than what that section is by number. So you can just see by value. So if you've got a few high value ones coming up, or a lot of low value ones, you may want to know about some of the high value ones coming up, so you can see which categories are the most expensive ones to renew. You can also see your number of renewals by color alerts. As you can see, I don't have any overdue and I don't have any yellow alert, but I do have some red alert, and the green ones are no urgency. Obviously, when you go to your renewals list, the color that this changes will represent the colors on the graph. And lastly, here at the bottom, you can see number of listed renewals 16, average monthly cost, average annual cost, number of overdue renewals, and your average month. Those are your renewal periods. What's the average renewal period that you've got? Just some interesting figures for you there. And as I said, all of these graphs and all of the stuff on the report will automatically update as you complete your renewals list. If you do at any stage come and change any of these categories, when you go back to your renewals list, you'll see they'll turn red if they don't exist. So for argument's sake, if we come and change J to K, and you go here, you'll see it's saying, hang on, this one's missing J, and you just need to go and change that one to K, and there it goes, it disappears. So that's it. If you do have a lot of renewals that you need to keep on top of, I hope that this helps you. And yeah, I wish you all the best with this. Thank you and goodbye.